life. And we're excited about these new episodes, court geared information specific to people who are wanting to understand the intricate dealings that are the activity, business activity of the courts. Also, in this series, we will be addressing specifically um, the type of case that is referred to as a probate case. And many times people do not know that if they are taken to a court for foreclosure, that is probate court. Okay, and once people understand that it's probate court, or what probate court is and what it means, then you'll understand how that it all fits and ties in together, and why that particular type of case of foreclosure we're discussing would be forwarded to or filed in probate court. Okay, you're thinking that you're dealing with something that is an asset, property. Okay, and they are too, but they're thinking of it in a different manner because they really understand and know what type of asset you have and the legal protections that are provided under the law, and those legal protections are written or underwritten by the probate court. And I said written or underwritten because uh, the things we're talking about is similar to an underwriting. Stuff you don't know is going on, all right, under the surface. It's written in books in ways, if you don't know how to, tie everything in or understand what you're reading, then it's under the surface for you. Otherwise, it's open information. A lot of people say, oh, they're gatekeeping and this and that, when that's not the case. No one's actually keeping you from the information but you, if you're not seeking to know. Another thing is, a lot of times people say somebody gatekeeping and you just gave them the answer to their question, which further lets me know they wasn't really expecting to get an answer. Some people just ask questions to antagonize or to um, place doubt in your mind about what you understand or know. Okay? So you got to understand when some people ask questions, um, what their underlying intent is. And you say, well, I can't go around trying to figure out what people meant by what they said. Well, if you do, you will master the art of communication. If you don't, a lot of shit is going to go on right in your face and you're not going to know what's going on and you're going to remain a minor. Just like grown ups talk about mature matters right in front of the kid. They talk about it right in front of the kid. They don't excuse themselves because they know that they can use certain words that the kid think they know what the parent is talking about, but they don't. And so in that regard, the child is left in the dark, and it's intentional, because that child is not ready for that level of information. It's not mature to receive that type of information. It is improper to give a minor certain types of information, okay? Because they can hurt themselves. Especially if they have ill intent. What I mean by that is people trying to find out information about file this document, file that document, because they're greedy. They're not trying to find out how to fill out these documents with the same intent that maybe when you disseminated the information, that's what you intended. You thought people was just like you, okay? You assumed that people were just like you. They was in a bind, and they needed the information just like you. And you thought because you were did your due diligence and made sure that you process your documents correctly and use the correct language and so forth, and you gave them instructions to kind of use your documents as a guide or whatever. Some people do, all right, and they get people to do their processes. Well, guess what? If you have people doing your process, right? Guess what you become like? You become like the IRS, where you also are supposed to have an enforcement division. That if somebody is out here duplicating your documents and using it for illegal activity, then you need to make a claim against them to show that you have an enforcement division, that you're not being careless with these documents. Because that's what the IRS does. When people say, I got a frivolous filing report, okay? Well, that's their enforcement department trying to make sure that people are not requesting forms and using them inappropriately, okay? And so, in the same manner, if you have any kind of processes that you're teaching people how to send documents, okay, create affidavits and so forth. Even if you say you're not giving legal advice, you are giving legal advice, and that does not indemnify you from harm, because you said you wasn't going to give legal advice in your video content, and then you turned right around and gave legal advice because you don't even understand where the line to draw the line in your video content to know whether you is or you ain't giving legal advice. So basically, all you did with your so-called disclaimer was depose a lie on the record to say you was not going to give legal advice, and then as we enter into your video, that is exactly what you're doing. You're giving us legal advice. Now, what erases any liability is if you are responsible with the information that you're giving. Okay? And it doesn't leave it open for people to open for interpretation what you are advising. Okay? So you consented to giving legal advice when you're talking about legal stuff, matters, and filing documents and this and that. That's a legal issue, okay? You can't say, I'm not giving legal advice and then give legal advice. Because you is giving legal advice. You know good and blessed well. If you put on your title, I'm having this video broadcast about foreclosures. Like this broadcast is about foreclosures, that people will come to the broadcast or click on the video because they are seeking legal advice. That type of title solicits an audience for that automatically. You cannot waive that responsibility by saying, I'm not, basically saying I'm not responsible for what I say. Come on now. But you're giving information like you are responsible. See, it's the act that the way you acting, that's what creates the conflict of interest of what you said and what you did. Okay? And so people need to be aware of that. A lot of these people are following these processes and oh Lord, and they haven't even learned enough themselves yet. And soon as they get a little knowledge and information under their belt, and maybe they feel in their own mind that they're ready to move from being a student to a teacher. Okay? So, and then they're excited about what they know, and they want to share that. But they go to the next level, and some people are seeking the information when they're looking for it, just so they can turn around and sell it back to you. Sell you the information, and because it's the same as a lawyer. They go to school and pay all that money for school. They have a right to get paid for that. Okay? The work they put in to even gather the knowledge. I shouldn't have said lawyer to use that as a terrible example. But you get my drift. Anyone with occupational training and also experience in a field deserves to charge a fee for the investment that they made in having the knowledge and the skill to perform a particular task. And so if a person needs their services that can't perform that task themselves, like a heart surgeon, you would have to outsource that to a heart surgery because you don't know how to do heart surgery on yourself. Okay? You would outsource that. You would get someone else to do that, pay them or make an exchange. You would get them to do that. Okay? And in that regard, it's, it is fair for people to charge for all the information and documents. You have to have, you know, be organized. That's a lot of work that these people. It don't matter if they're a guru or not. The guru of what they done is worth the money that they're asking for their services, whatever it is you pay for on their channel. Look at all, just scroll through the channel and see all the videos that people have. That's their time. 2 hours, 3 hour videos, hour-long videos, trying to relay to you information that they've gathered. And it took them even more hours to gather that information than it took for them to disseminate it to you. And then the more you ask questions, the more time it's going to take for them to disseminate it to you. That they're spending more time, that they're spending. They spending time to provide you information that you didn't want to look up, or maybe you, like me, you hate reading. I don't mind reading, but it's got to be something worth my while for me to take my time to read all that. If I deem it's not necessary, then it won't be read. I'll tell people all the time, just tell me what it say. Just tell me what it say. And if they tell me what something say and I look on the document that corresponds with it, I roll with it. If it don't, I question it. Okay? I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. I am the question queen. I question people so much they think they under investigation. And they are. I'm investigating my interest. I'm investigating their business dealings before I invest my interest in that entity. And so, as with when you buy your home, okay, that was just a prerequisite conversation. But we're going to get into buying a home. We're going to charge up and we'll be right back.